Aloha and welcome to the very first episode of Hub Talks. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Shanah Trevenna and I'm here with George Yarbrough. We are your co-hosts for the show and we are also directors of Proto Hub Honolulu, and I'm going to let George tell you a little bit about what that is.
So if you look in the background, what you see is a quick snapshot of the Proto Hub Honolulu in 458 Keawe Street, rather. And the Proto Hub is a co-working space that is a foundation and also a support for the network of entrepreneurs and startups here in Honolulu. So we have all different types of small companies, large companies, medium-sized companies that are grown out of the Proto Hub and also use the Proto Hub for their office and for the networking.
Yeah, they do co-working, they come to events, they host events, they go to workshops, they host workshops, and there's all sorts of trainings for everything that you would want to do to grow yourself and grow your business.
So we're brand new. I guess you can call us brand new.
4 months old.
Yeah, September 15th is when we opened up, and we currently have about 140 members, and so we're pretty excited to be here in Honolulu. We're pretty excited to be part of the community. We're excited to be a cornerstone of the community. And you don't also have to be a member to be part of the Proto Hub. You can actually just rent the space for events. All kinds of really cool events, actually.
Conferences, yeah.
So I think some of you went to the Grow Local in Small Spaces, GLIS, last weekend. That's a great example of how to use the space. I mean, it was really cool.
We've had Box Jelly's demo day there. We had the High Growth Initiative, Growing the Innovation Economy Conference. Yeah, so it gives you kind of idea what the hub is. But most of all, you pay a monthly membership to come in and get great free coffee, super fast Wi-Fi, and meet incredible people and go there to work every day rather than go to a coffee shop or go to an office.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, how are you using the show?
The show came along because Jay Fidel had us on, and we had a good time.
Yeah.
We were laughing for days afterwards. And as you know, many people on the show get invited to perhaps have their own show, so we shouldn't be too flattered.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we were very excited about the opportunity to.
And this was our dream to be.
Yeah, we wanted to wave papers around and.
Yeah, I've always wanted to wave papers.
And George gets to do that.
Yeah.
I like to make him happy. So what we wanted to do with the show was have our members on. They're some of the most incredible people I've ever met, working on very interesting things that are super meaningful for Hawaii and our community. And we have a lot of interesting, exciting things coming up. So the show is going to highlight our members, it's going to highlight our community and things that we have going on. Right after this break, we're going to have our very first guests on, who are actually our very first member.
Yeah.
And the person who told me about what a hub is.
They got some really cool things coming up in this next weekend, actually, or this weekend coming up, rather.
Yeah, and they're two of the coolest green professionals that we have going in Hawaii. So right after the break, we're going to be joined by Scott and Andrea, and we're going to learn all about them and about the conference they have happening at the hub this weekend. So we look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks.
Aloha, Yappers, and a Happy New Year. I'm your host, King Zilly. From inner city out to the platform and now the Yap Show. It's a new year, and most would say a new beginning. So this is a call to action. As we promote tech, energy, diversification, and globalism, with ThinkTech Hawaii, the Yap Show is all about advocacy for effective leadership, comprehensive youth policies, programs, and access to knowledge and information for upward social mobility, especially for the historically underprivileged youth. This means we'll be looking at young people making a difference in their community. Youth policies here in Hawaii, the country, and the world. We want to highlight youth programs that are meeting young people where they are, working together to accomplish a goal or tackle an issue while providing information and access to free educational content for anybody looking to learn on their own time, study for an exam, or simply refresh their memory. We do this by inviting everyday people like yourself, state policymakers, youth advocacy groups, youth programs, professionals, and so forth. But most importantly, we'll be partnering up with my new organization, causeeffect.org. More information on Cause Effect, as this website is currently in development and hopes to feature courses, seminars, tutorials, and conducting surveys that will be featured on the show. As we leave behind 2014, I wish I could say we leave behind issues such as police brutality, youth violence, education, economic mobility, and so many other hot-button topics that made 2014 a difficult year. So what does it mean for the new year? What does it mean for youth policy? What does it mean for Hawaii as a whole? And most importantly, how does it affect you and your community? We want you to tune into the Yap Show at 3 p.m. Friday and find out. Aloha.
Okay, this is ThinkTech Hawaii. And it's Wednesday. Every Wednesday is Energy Wednesday here in Hawaii, the state of clean energy. 4 to 5 p.m. every Wednesday. Come and listen to us. And just to show you what I mean, I'm going to ask Sharon to tell us more.
Come and see us every Wednesday, as Jay said. And we have people like Jim Albers from HECO here and co-host Ray Starling here every Wednesday. We not only go on Olelo and OC16, but also stream live. So please come visit us, hear about the latest in clean energy.
Okay, Jim, you've been here. You got any comment on all this?
As important as energy is in all of our lives today, this is a great forum and a great format to vet those issues. So I encourage everybody to listen in and participate.
Okay, Ray, what do you think for a close?
Well, I think this is the greatest show in the energy world here in Hawaii. You can come here every week, 1 hour, and catch the latest on what's happening and hear from the people who really know what's going on, like Jim Alberts. We appreciate your coming today.
Thank you.
Ray Starling, Sharon Moriwaki, Jim Alberts, and Jay Fidel here in Hawaii, the state of clean energy. 4 to 5 p.m. Wednesday. Aloha.
Aloha.
Welcome back to the Hub Talks. So we are here with our guests, our very first guest once again, and we have Andrea Bertoli and Scott Cooney from Important Media. This Saturday, February 7th, from 9 to 5, we have the Sustainability Unconference. So, Andrea, I'm going to start with you.
Yes, George.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
I'm so excited
really
to be
excited
here
to have
with
you
you
here.
guys for your first show.
I know, pretty amazing, pretty amazing. Actually, we'll talk about it a little bit later, but how you're the first person on our show, you're actually our first Hub member.
I'm so excited to be
Yeah.
the first at both.
So
Yeah.
what do you do at Important Media?
So for Important Media, I am a blogger and a site editor. So that means I do writing for 2 different websites that we have. One is called Green Living Ideas, and one is called Vibrant Wellness Journal, which I started many years ago. And I blog and share news about healthy living and green lifestyle, things like that. And then I'm also working with Scott to put together the Unconference. So I'm doing more of the marketing side of things, and Scott's doing a lot more of the logistical kind of planning things. And so far it's come together really well. We've got an amazing list of sponsors and a great agenda for the day. And so Scott will get to get into more of the details about that.
So Important Media. So the both of you are pretty high up there for the green movement here in Hawaii. I mean, you guys have been, your names are being thrown around everywhere, especially with this big conference coming up. So
And now we're big TV stars too.
now you're
so
huge TV
we're
stars,
great.
so-
We're lucky to know you.
Yeah. Actually, do you guys know the show? But so really quickly, I know Scott can talk more about Important Media, but for the people who don't know what Important Media is, can you quickly just say what it is?
Sure. So Important Media is a network of about, how many, 15, 20 websites that cover all aspects of sustainable living. So it includes Clean Technica, which is the world's largest clean tech site. It includes Gas 2.0, which is a clean transportation site, hybrids and electrics and things like that. Everything from green crafting to green living to solar to bike, love. There's so many different things that we cover. And it just offers people a chance to read about sustainability in across all these different websites and really learn how sustainability can be woven into every aspect of our lives.
Right. No,
Anything you want to add, Scott?
Sure. Like Andrea said, it's being a generalist today is very difficult in terms of media. You have to compete with the CNNs of the world and that sort of thing. So for niche media companies, we try to angle towards very specific niches. So as Andrea said, we have a clean tech focused website where people who really are into clean tech can subscribe and get their daily news. We have a totally different website that's about eco fashion. And so people who are into that industry can subscribe to that blog and follow the news that way. Because those two things, while they are aligned in the grand spiritual sense of things, the two types of readers are exceptionally different types of readers. And so if they're just getting a generic news source, they're not likely to go back to it every single day.
So if I'm interested in 3 of those categories, which I would be probably into like all 15 of them, but you go to each website and sign up for some sort of news feed?
Exactly.
Okay.
And the ones that publish a lot publish every day and 10 stories a day, and then you get a daily news feed. The ones that publish less often, like the Eco Fashion site, tend to send out a weekly newsletter, and you just get a summary of all the stuff they've published during the week.
Very cool.
the themes, are they mainly national themes or is it international?
Global.
Global.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and we have about 3.5 million readers as of January.
Wow.
So
People that are subscribed that are getting this daily or weekly.
some subscribers, some Googlers, some Facebook people just coming and going.
Wow.
Whatever. So we have a mix of all
That's
that.
a lot
kind
of
stuff.
traffic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like the 4th biggest green media company in the world now. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Hub Talks is going to be
Wow.
everywhere.
Look at that.
You picked the right guess.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, Scott's really let the network grow and thrive in all these great ways. And we have writers that are all over the world, and we have blogs that cover news from all over the world. So it's really exciting to see how it's growing and also how it just continues to expand into all these different countries and all these different niche kind of sites.
Well, I'm interested to hear the story about how that came to fruition. But first, Andrea, how did you get to Hawaii? Are you from Hawaii? Or?
No, I didn't grow up here. I grew up in Detroit.
Okay.
And when I was 20, I moved out here. So I was 20
You
and
left
I didn't.
Detroit for Hawaii?
Yes, I left Detroit for Hawaii. A lot of people
Crazy.
ask why. Really? Why? So I do miss home for sure. My mom and dad are there. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. But it's just so awesome here. And I've been here for, now it's been 14 years. And I lived on Maui for a little bit, but mostly Oahu just really feels like home. I just feel like the community here is so great, and the people that I've met here are so awesome.
Right.
And now at the Hub, it's even better. So.
Nice. So tell me a little bit about what you're, because you're wearing a lot of hats here.
I wear some hats, yeah.
Yeah. So one being important media, the other one being Oroiko.
Yes. So I actually, I'm kind of a freelancer now, which is kind of exciting, kind of. I work for a company called Oroiko. It's a San Francisco-based startup that does carbon footprint tracking. So everybody kind of knows that they make an impact on climate every day, but nobody really knows how to address that, right? So our web tools give you a chance to log on and see how your purchases really impact your overall carbon load on the planet, basically. And it gives you options and tips to help reduce it. You can buy carbon offsets to help really offset everything else that you've done. So I'm doing their marketing and engagement. So I'm working with local partners and working to build partnerships to spread awareness, and also doing
So it's
online
based
marketing.
out of where?
It's in San Francisco.
But you're also bringing that presence here in Hawaii?
Yes. So actually,
Very cool.
Oroiko has a good Hawaii connection. It was one of the 2014 Energy Accelerator cohort companies. And so actually, Pono Home, Scott's other company, is also an Energy Accelerator cohort. And they were talking, and Oroiko needed a marketing person, and Scott said, I know somebody for you.
No, Energy
Works
Accelerator
great.
is one of our founding partners for the Proto Hub.
Yeah.
So can you just give a moment about what Energy Accelerator is?
Sure.
Yeah.
So the Energy Accelerator is a business incubator based here in Hawaii that focuses specifically on clean energy solutions. So there's everything from battery storage to one of the companies this year is doing food waste diversion, which is really awesome. Pono Home, of course, does energy efficiency work. So all different, kind of like how important media covers all range of sustainability, the Energy Accelerator covers and supports businesses that do a range of energy conservation work. And they really think Hawaii is a good test bed for that, because we have wind, we have solar, we have wave, we have all these cool opportunities for sustainable
Very
energy.
cool. And I read it's gamifying the whole idea of creating your small footprint, ecological footprint.
Yeah, Oroiko it's a beautiful program. It's oroeco.com. I would encourage everyone who's interested in tracking their carbon footprint to check it out. It's a beautiful website. It's been a couple years in the making, and we have an app that's in beta testing right now, which should be launching soon. Our founder is going to be speaking at TEDx Honolulu and also at South by Southwest Interactive, which is really exciting.
Awesome.
Very cool.
So both of those events are in March, so we're getting a lot of traction. There's definitely a need for stuff like this, and it makes it fun and easy, and it doesn't seem scary. And once you realize that every day that you're doing this one activity is actually adding to your footprint, then you can take steps to help reduce that, which is better for everyone.
So just so I make sure I understand, I would get an app and it would track everything that I buy or do, and then tell me what my carbon footprint is? Or
Sort of, yes.
Okay.
You are able. There's two different ways you can log in. So you can either log in using mint.com, which is one of the partners that we have. And so a lot of people already have that already to help manage their finances. You can also just do a survey. So you can just log on and say, this is how big my house is, this is what, how many light bulbs I have, this is what I eat for lunch every day, that kind of thing. And it'll kind of give you an estimate about what you're using. And then as you make more purchases or, take actions, you can see that number kind of go up and down.
That's amazing.
And you can compete with your roommates.
And you can compete with people
For
too.
what though? What's
Yeah.
the prize?
You
What's
get
the prize?
prices?
Well, that is in
Does Andrew
development,
deliver
of
prize
course.
to, like,
Yes,
your doorstep?
we actually just finished on the 31st a Nest giveaway. So Nest is a smart thermostat that
Yep.
learns your schedule and
That's
your needs
really
for your
cool.
house. Very cool. So they just we just closed the giveaway for that, and then eventually we're hoping on building a network of giveaways and prizes and other supporters.
Maybe it could be a free month at the Hub or something like
Maybe
that.
a month at the
Yeah,
Hub.
we'd like people that are doing really well with their carbon footprint at the Hub. That'd be
Absolutely,
nice.
absolutely. Yeah, so that's actually my job, is to help kind of develop some of these partnerships and develop different networks of users that can help build the brand, but also help really just reduce our footprint overall, which is really what the overall goal of the company is.
Very cool.
Yeah, so
Thanks,
it's pretty
Andrea.
cool, yeah.
Yeah. So Andrea and Scott are the brains and the brawn behind the Sustainability Unconference happening this Saturday, February 7th from 9 till 5 at the Proto Hub. And we're just learning a little bit more about them before we dive deeper into what the Unconference is. So I would like to ask Scott some questions now as well. Scott, you've been a serial entrepreneur for many, many years, and I would just love to go back to sort of your first company, a small blurb about it, and then sort of your trajectory, which I know could be a long time, but if you could give the,
Sure, I'll
the
give it
fast journey.
the
How about
20,
this,
the
guys?
20-second version. So I when I was in graduate school, I was studying science, and I was really interested in conservation. So I was doing a master's in conservation biology, and about halfway through, I realized that science is a very difficult path to actually make change, but business is really fast. So I concurrently enrolled in an MBA program so that it could be like a green MBA. Now there's all these green MBA programs out there. This was before any of them existed. So then I got out of school and I had no actual practical skills. I had none, like literally nothing. But I knew I wanted to be a green business person. So I started an eco-friendly mow and blow service. It was like the most basic business ever, but I just wanted to learn how to do marketing, how to talk to customers, how to do billing, all that kind of stuff. So I started a company called Eco Mowers. That was my first company back in 2004. And push-reel lawnmowers, electric weed whackers, all that stuff, all powered on solar. And then I started offering organic weed and feeds and then organic gardening. And the business just kind of grew. It was pretty awesome. So by the time I sold it 3 years later, I had 120 regular customers who were going out and taking care of their yards every week.
Where was this?
In Salt Lake City, Utah.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I ended up selling the company, and then from there, it's just been a journey. But yeah.
You ended up writing a book about
did.
your journey. Can you just mention that?
I did, sure, yeah. So I started, the second company I started was a green business directory. And to do that, I had to interview all the green business owners in my area in Salt Lake City to find out what they were doing and then sell advertising for them and create a publication for
First
them.
of all, I have to commend you for that because I know of so many green directories where they just pull names off of the internet and
Yeah.
just plug it in there, and there's no real vetting,
Right.
and it's easy greenwashing. But when you
Yeah.
told me that you had actually talked to every single person,
Visited every
I was
store.
like, this guy's the real deal.
Yeah.
What were your qualifications for making a business green?
It varied from location to location and industry to industry,
Okay.
but the idea was we put a standard in place that was significantly better than normal. That's
Yeah.
how we qualified people, and so we'd go and find out
Wow.
how many of their products were local, how many of their products were organic, how many of their products like really were trying to doing something better than the norm. What the company did in terms of social responsibility, a lot of stuff Shanah does with the B Corp that you have.
I was thinking about B Corp for that because now we have this international gold standard of a checklist
Yes.
that tells whether a business is a B Corp, a benefit corporation causing
Right.
social and environmental good. But before that, everyone was kind of winging it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
So a lot of those qualifications kind of worked into that. But regardless, I visited every single company. I talked to every single entrepreneur, and in doing so, I learned a lot about how these people started their companies, who they were marketing to, who was their first adopters, that sort of thing. So I put all that into a book, and it was called Build a Green Small Business, and it was basically how to start a green business.
Can you still get this book?
Yeah, it's still out there, although it's out of production now. It's like
Okay.
7 years ago. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Bronze in your room.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then tell us more about Hawaii and Pono Home and
Sure.
where this story brings you to date.
Yeah, so the really funny story is that I started Important Media 5 years ago at the Hub in San Francisco.
Yes.
Which is awesome to bring that whole thing together.
This actually might be a good point for me to say that the Hub is part of a global network.
It is.
There
Yeah.
are hubs in 66 cities in all around the world, and there's Hub Johannesburg and Melbourne and London,
Yeah.
and now we're working on Hub
Honolulu.
Honolulu.
I
So
know,
you were in
it's so
Hub.
exciting.
Which hub were you at?
San
When-
Francisco. Yeah. Yep. So I started the company there, and after a couple of years of growing it, realizing that the education piece is awesome and it's very important, we never saw what happened when people were reading our websites, what happened after. and the impact is what I was really going for. And I know impact is a big thing for the hub here,
Yeah.
which very much respect. So I really wanted to see the impact of it, and so I started thinking about how we bring sustainability into people's homes, and that's where Pono Home sort of came from. So it started as a spin-off of my media company, and then once we got into the Energy Accelerator program, they required that I create a separate business out of it so that they could kind of do their thing with it. So that's where it came from.
Yeah, and how's it going?
It's going great.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's going
Yeah.
really good. We
When did you enter the accelerator?
it's 2014. I was part of the 2014
Okay.
seed stage cohort. So that's like the earlier stage companies. And yeah, I mean, they chose 8 companies. The criteria was basically helping Hawaii wean off of fossil fuels. And they felt like my company was one of the 8 that could help the fastest and scale the best.
Out of hundreds, I'm sure. I know it's a
Yeah,
really
they got
competitive program.
250 applications, yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're so lucky to know you.
Oh, come on. I feel so lucky to be here.
Yeah, so now you're going to be moving on to the idea of the Unconference.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Really cool idea.
Yeah.
As far as where you're going to do with it and where you're going to take it.
yeah.
So it's sort of a blend between my 2 companies. So Important Media is still growing. I just hired a new president, so I don't do anything for the company anymore, which is awesome. So the media company is going to continue to grow, and we've always talked about doing events. Event planning and media just go hand in hand. So we've always wanted to do an event, and then for Pono Home, it's a franchise. And so the idea is I want to train franchisees all over the world to effectively go into people's homes and green them top to bottom, which is what Pono Home does. So the 2 kind of things came together, and I thought if we can do events all over the country, I can promote the media company, make money from the Unconference, and then also sell Pono Home franchises and get that going, because we can show toolboxes and we can show software and all this kind of stuff.
Someone went to business school.
Yeah, somebody spends a lot of nights and weekends thinking about this stuff.
Yeah. I'm so glad you decided to do it at the Hub as well for so many reasons. When I was just hearing you talk about going into people's homes, there's a lot of people that care about and deeper in sustainability the way we are day to day in our careers, but not everyone has time for that.
Yeah.
And it's just not realistic that everyone's in the same career and passionate about the same thing. So being able to go in and really bridge and bring that information in a way that makes it easy and accessible to them and have their home transformed like that is a huge value. And I feel like when we started the Hub, it was a similar thing. Anyone's welcome through those doors. Anyone that's doing anything, and we're hoping that by being there, they'll cross-pollinate with all the other people that are there to learn about all the different options they have. So you might be learning from someone that's doing graphic design there about how to do something that you don't particularly do, and they might learn how to green their home. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a really good fit. And Scott is the first person that ever told me about an impact hub. I had a company that was a sustainability consulting firm with 10 staff, and we had outgrown coffee shops, but we were in the field so much it didn't make sense to get a brick and mortar. And Scott was like, oh, you should check out the Hub when you go to that conference in San Francisco. So thank you for putting it on my radar years ago. We're here with Scott and Andrea from Important Media, who are putting on the Unconference, the Sustainability Unconference, this Saturday, February 7th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Proto Hub. And we're going to take a short break, but after, when we come back, we're going to hear more about what is an Unconference, why is it important now, and why is it happening at the Proto Hub. So thanks, and come back with us soon.
Aloha, I'm Hunter Hevelin, host of Sustainable Hawaii here at ThinkTech Hawaii. You can tune in every week on Thursday at 2 p.m. to see interviews with sustainability professionals from around the state and even further abroad, learning about activities with water management, food security, waste management, and a whole host of other fascinating opportunities to get engaged with making a greener island. So if you're interested in making the transition from consuming individuals to communities of producers, check us out every Thursday.
Welcome back. So we're here with Andrea and Scott talking about the the Sustainable Unconference here at the Proto Hub. And how can people actually sign up and learn more about it? Where's the website?
The website is sustainabilityunconference.com. You can find us on Facebook, and we're on Twitter as well. And we're doing registration through Eventbrite. So if you go to sustainabilityunconference.com, there's a button on the right-hand side that says register here. And we'd love to see you there.
So I've heard the term unconference for a while.
Ask them what an unconference is. Ask them what an unconference
I'm
is.
curious. So if I want to join a conference, but there's non-conference. What is a non-conference? I'm so confused.
I'm gonna
waiting
have Scott
for this
take that question. Yeah, Scott does a much more succinct version of it than I do.
Okay, that's pressure. Good. A non-conference is basically a conference without a preset agenda.
Okay.
So when you go to a normal conference, what we call a boring conference,
Sure. Right.
When you go to a normal conference, there's a preset agenda. Typically, the sponsors are the ones who are speaking mostly, so you get to hear a pretty curated sort of voice.
And you pick which one you don't want to hear, so you can go sit at the beach for a couple hours because you're in Hawaii.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly.
I know those conferences.
So the Unconference there is structure to it, and there is a theme, sustainability, but then the speakers are part of the audience.
Okay.
And so everybody can offer to give a talk on something. So I could give a talk on how to start a green business because that's something I've written a book on and I feel very confident in. And if people are interested in hearing about that, then they vote for it. So we basically, whoever volunteers, we just write everything up on the board, and those are the potential topics for the day. And then we say, okay, who wants to hear this one? Who wants to hear this one? Who wants to hear this one? Whichever ones get the most votes, that's what the people want to hear.
So if I want to come to the Unconference, do I have to be in the green movement?
Not at all.
Okay.
What if
Not
I
at
want
all.
to talk about the excessive number of cats on UH's campus? Can I?
Yeah.
You can certainly throw that out as a topic,
Yeah.
and then people will vote about whether or not they want to hear
It's a
about
lot
it.
of cats.
Which I'm sure that they do. I mean, there's a lot.
Don't get me started on the cats.
Anyway, this isn't the cat show.
Yeah,
we have
no,
a whole other show
that's
for that.
another time.
So yeah, it's been exciting to see. You know, we have about 70 people that are going to be there already, and the registration is still open. And right now we have people that are interested in talking about time banking, that are interested in talking about eco-villages.
Whoa,
shareable
what's time
communities.
banking? What's eco-villages?
Time banking. Can you explain that better?
Sure. Time banking is a different kind of commerce. Effectively, you are volunteering your time, and in exchange, you get an hour of somebody else's time.
So what if I'm a lawyer and you're a gardener and I need my garden?
That's a
Is
really
it
good
hour for
question,
hour?
but it's basically you set your own, as I understand it, you set your own sort of
Your
rate
fee.
that you want
Rate,
to
yeah.
charge, but it's in hours as opposed to dollars. But to find out more, maybe come to the Unconference and hear a lady who actually runs Oahu Time Bank, who
good.
has offered
good.
to volunteer and speak on this topic. So.
So explain to me why the Sustainability Unconference is important now, and why are you doing it now? Like why is it important? Why are you doing that?
Two very good questions. I think I should have done it 5 years ago.
Okay.
To answer the real question there, I think it's something that is a beautiful concept. People can learn from each other. Connections will naturally be made. Things will naturally happen. And I think people will become very inspired from it.
Okay.
So I think these things just need to happen. I went to one 5 years ago and I loved it. And I thought it was just fantastic. It was called the Greener Minds Summit.
Wow.
And that was when I was introduced to the whole idea of the Unconference. Why is it important? Well, what's more important than sustainability in our world? We're at a critical tipping point in history, and we're seeing the biggest species extinction since the dinosaur age. Climate change is obvious. It's rampant. It's affecting people everywhere. We need to do stuff. We need practical solutions that make impact. And this is one way to get people going in that direction and empower every single person who comes through that door to actually do something.
You know, I think it's interesting you said I should have done it 5 years ago, because there was definitely this huge wave of sustainability from like 2006, 7, right through the recession, kept going strong until 2012, et cetera. And then, you know, that word has kind of filtered away, but I feel like in my involvement of it, I felt like there was a whole phase of ideas into action. You know, there's everyone talking about it, but people wanted pilot projects. They wanted something concrete. And then all these pilot projects happened, and all these little pieces that were proven. And now I feel like it's going into institutionalization. It's going into businesses. It's going into degree programs at the university. It's going into like the foundation rather than the ether. I just wonder what your thoughts are on that. Like, really, maybe it shouldn't have been 5 years ago. Maybe it's really apropos for what's happening now in terms of people trying to make it into something concrete and not just something to rally around, but something to do in your everyday life.
Yeah, I mean, there I go again, shooting on myself, right? Saying I should have done this 5 years ago. You're right. I mean, there's a time and a place for everything, and there's a reason things happen the way that they are.
I mean, 70 people have signed up. So
Yeah, it's
there's a demand.
the demand is clear, and the other thing is that I think for me personally, having the media company with as many readers as we have, we can expand events very rapidly across the country, which is awesome. And then having Andrea on board, who is just awesome at this stuff, all the pieces kind of came together in my brain, and it's like, now is the time. We just need to do this. And then we started talking about the hub, and I was like, perfect. We've got a venue. This is just win-win for everybody. Let's just make this happen right here, right now.
Excited for it.
And also, kind of like the media network, it really brings these different aspects of sustainability together, right? So maybe people who are working in like farming or gardening, maybe they don't really understand like why it's important to be energy efficient in your home. So having an unconference like this brings together all these different aspects and helps coalesce this movement. Like I think you and I were talking about this in terms of the Naomi Klein book, right? Is there's all these movements movements happening, but they're a little separated.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
not always necessarily connected around the central theme of climate change and carbon reduction and all the things that we need to be doing. So I think that that's a really good outcome of the Unconference too. And so far we're set up for an amazing success this week, Saturday, and I think we'll just continue to grow it, like Scott said, throughout the country and globally. And
So, and the other thing too, with the Unconference is it's not just about sessions or workshops or whatever. There's a speed networking event at the end of the day. So that's going to be a really fun facilitated networking event where you get to spend 3 minutes with each person. You get to talk to them. Here's what I do. I'm Scott. I run Pono Home. We green your home. Here's my business card. And then the person can say, I'm Michael Kramer. I do investing and divest your portfolio from fossil fuels. And here's my card. Great. Sounds good. Move on to the next person. So you literally meet 30, 40 change makers in a very short period of time, write some notes on business cards, make awesome connections. Out of those people, maybe 5 people are amazing connections for you, but this gives you a facilitated chance to meet all of them, especially for introverts. Like, it's a great way just to, meet people, not be awkward.
it's only 3 minutes, it's not too scary.
And then you move on. So
If people can develop relationships out of that type of speed dating experience,
Totally.
why not a business exchange?
why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably easier.
And that's why I think the hub facilitates so much. Like literally, like when I'm trying to talk to new people about the hub, I'm always like literally every day I'm meeting somebody new who's doing either a cool project or has something they need help with, or I can connect them with someone, or I'm the person they need to be connected with. Like there really is so much potential there, and the hub just has really brought that space to Honolulu. I feel like, I hadn't worked at Box Jelly before or at some of the other co-working spaces, but I feel like the hub just came at the right time, at the right place, and it's just able to coalesce all this good stuff that's happening. So
Yeah,
I feel it every day.
I don't think we would have been able to come along if Box Jelly hadn't paved the way and if we hadn't partnered with them so early. And we kind of hope we're the first co-working centers in the network and ecosystem of a dozen that have different niches. We've heard of ones coming up just that are specific for fashion, et cetera. So Ray Chung and I meet all the time, like, what are our hubs doing? What are our centers doing to grow this whole network? Well, thanks for sharing that too, because you being one of the first members and Scott being the first one to tell me about an impact hub, you doing the Unconference, it's pretty awesome.
I was so thankful for the hub. I was working out of a warehouse for another startup, and the warehouse was in Pearl City, so it was a 40-minute drive in the morning. So I went from a bike commuter at a health food store to working to being a car commuter, and it was the hub was a godsend. Came at a really good time.
Huge mahalos to you guys for getting it going. I know how much work you guys have both put into getting this thing started, and I mean honestly, without that kind of work and tireless sacrifice up front, it's never would have happened.
We're pretty into it. Thanks,
you guys have already amazing stuff have already happened. Connections have already been made. It's just awesome. So
I remember, thank you for that. And there's a huge team of us. There's 40 people that were on working groups to make it all come together.
But without leadership, nothing happens. So
thanks. Well, I remember asking George, a month after we'd opened, like, are you happy? Are you happy? And he's like, what do you mean, am I happy? And I'm like, are you happy with the hub? Are you happy with your life with the hub? Like, and he said this awesome answer. He said, let me think about it. And I was like, okay, take as much time as you need.
It's a whirlwind.
Yeah.
The hub is a whirlwind.
Yeah, and so he really took the weekend and came back with notes. And sat at the beach.
Dear
and
Shanah.
That's it.
oh my God, he's got a list. And the one thing I really remember that stuck out to me is he had worked for another organization called Operation Smile before, and maybe you say a minute.
Sure, yeah. Operation Smile is a global charity that provides free surgery to children with cleft lips and cleft palates. And I worked for them about 6 years around the world.
Yeah, so he said to me, I had this really concrete experience of satisfaction. Another child that smiled.
Yeah.
Every time a child could smile, because they had received this operation, then I knew, I know what I'm doing it for. And he said, I get that same thing at the hub, because every day I see something happen that would have never happened without it that's really special. Connections. Yeah.
I was just telling you guys about this beautiful connection we just made Friday at the hub. A building manager who has a $300,000 electric bill per month. And now we're going to go in and do energy efficiency for that building.
And you were meeting him there? They just happened by?
Just randomly met him at the hub.
Wow.
There you go. You too can build your business. Wait, but you say it says Pono Home, but this is a business, so you do business as well, or?
We do. So we have a commercial arm called Pono Properties that is now the newest development, and we've done a couple of businesses now, and we're looking at bigger properties now. So that's sort of it's cool because if we can sell an office building, then Pono Home franchisees can service the office building and make money. So we're actually a commercial sales arm for our own franchisees.
It's amazing.
pretty
and
amazing.
I know your franchisees because they used to be my employees.
Yes.
So it's nice to see everybody finding their way into
Absolutely.
new ventures and
Yep.
see them going from being mentored to having their own business through these processes. So it's a pretty special network. This was a lot of hub love. We didn't really expect to go that deep in here. But for those that are just joining us, the Proto Hub is a co-working space in Kaka'ako. You pay a small monthly membership to come in and get free yummy coffee, fast Wi-Fi, and an amazing community that's sitting there getting a lot of work done and making connections. And we have programs and a lot of space to rent for events and meetings, et cetera. Everything to help you be successful in everything you want to do. We're here with
Great friends.
and great friends.
Yeah,
There's
great
a
people.
pretty great crew.
Yeah.
I had someone here for our wedding, which was just a month ago, and he
At
was
the Proto Hub.
At the Proto Hub. We danced
A lot of hub love.
we danced under that tree late.
Yep.
And he was visiting, and we all went camping the weekend after the hub, or after the wedding, and there was 40 people there. And when he came back, he said, I now understand, like I saw the space and it was cool, but I asked every single person there how they knew each other, and 90% of the people said the hub. He's like,
Wow.
those are some of the most fun
There
people
you
I've
go.
ever met. We're
Yep.
playing games all day, surfing, and I'm like, yeah, it's pretty true. So enough hub love.
I didn't even know George until the hub.
True, right?
So-
Me neither.
so-
Me neither.
so-
Yeah, me neither. So yeah, it's pretty fun. You also can just come there and work and not talk to all of us. It's perfect. You don't have to be
It's
our
not always
friend.
a party.
You don't have
Well,
to
what
be
fun
our
is that, really?
Okay, so we're going to go to a break, and when we come back, we're going to continue talking with Scott and Andrea with Important Media, who are putting on the Sustainability Unconference, Hawaii's first conference like this for sustainability, this Saturday at the Proto Hub from 9 to 5. So we'll look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks for staying with us.
Aloha, my name is Paul Jackson, better known as PJ, and my local interest is in sports. I have my own sports radio show at KWAI AM 1080 that you can stream live. I also have my own website, pjsportsradio.com. We have live guests in studio, and we talk about discussions and topics that everyone wants to know locally here on the islands. We cover everything from surfing to basketball to whatever's going on locally, sports-wise. We try to do our best and cover the topics in depth as much as we can. Once again, thank you for joining PJ here on Hawaii Sports Update. Mahalo.
Welcome back. We are here with Andrea and Scott, and I think we're just going to be kind of recapping, but we want to we have a few holes to pukas rather to fill. What do we want to ask them?
I really wanted to ask you about the speakers the day. I know that it's not the typical conference that everyone shows up in the morning and they can put any topic they want to talk about up on the board, and then people vote on what they want to hear, and then they get slotted into the agenda. But is there anyone that you know for sure or that gets a special feature to speak at all?
Yeah, we made that part of our sponsorship package, and so the platinum sponsors are getting a very short speaking engagement at lunch.
Okay.
So as we're serving this beautiful local non-GMO organic healthy lunch, people will have a chance to hear from our platinum sponsors, and our 3 platinum sponsors are awesome companies doing awesome things. We have Michael Kramer from Natural Investments on the Big Island. He's going to be talking about divesting your portfolio from fossil fuels.
Yay.
We got Ken Sheeks, who runs Hawaii Skylights. He is a clean tech entrepreneur. They put these cool skylights in that use no electricity and provide natural
Wow.
daylighting during the day. That cost nothing, pay for themselves in like super fast time. And then Revolusun is also a platinum sponsor, so they're going to be talking about whole house fans and solar attic fans and just all the other energy conservation devices that they're putting in.
So you can learn about creating your own home to a greener.
Yep.
So,
Definitely.
and I know that, so those are 3 sponsors, but I've seen your poster, there's like half the page is sponsors.
Yeah,
So
we
you-
have a lot of sponsors.
Yeah, we've worked really
It's
hard
great.
to really cultivate a list of sponsors that are not just giving us stuff, but that really embody these principles that we hold really dear. So I'm really excited about the food, of course. Anybody that knows me know that
Anyone
food
is,
is
yeah.
like my thing. So we're super thankful. We have Down to Earth, we have Whole Foods, Kokua Market. They're all donating food to the event. And then Oahu Fresh, who's another founding member of the Hub, Matt Johnson from Oahu Fresh, has been incredibly generous and is giving us not only prizes to give away, but also giving us produce. So we have a local chef, Chef Jennifer He, who's an awesome chef from Juicy Brew. She is going to be preparing the stuff. And we also have veggie burgers donated from Life Foods. So we
Wow.
have a totally amazing, as sustainable as possible feast that we have for people. We also have organic carbon neutral coffee and
Carbon negative coffee.
Carbon negative coffee,
Yep.
yes. And then we also have some fair trade teas that are coming from Tealit, which is very cool. And
Cool.
Sky Kombucha just signed on again today, so.
Could Eco Rico kind of create a, like, I guess a number for the Sustainability Unconference and like
Watch out, George will throw out an idea.
and
He'll come
compare
up
it
with
to other
something.
conferences to really
It's
like
coming at you.
to really show how small the footprint is.
Yeah,
compared to-
we're actually working with one of our volunteers is Justine, and she's doing a zero waste event. So we're trying to do a zero waste event. As far as the carbon neutrality of the event, we're doing it as much as we can. We've really we've told every person they have to bring their own cups, plates,
bike.
silverware.
Yep.
We have a bike valet that's coming.
We've
got
encouraged public transit, buses.
Yep, we've
all
got
that
Uber
stuff.
to give us a $20 discount for new
Those
riders.
guys are great like that.
Yeah, so we're really trying to promote as much, again, sustainability in all aspects of our
Wow.
lives,
Yeah.
right?
And we're also planting a tree for everybody who comes to the conference.
Where? My yard.
No.
You're gonna come to my house and plant a tree?
Yeah,
Pono Home
Ulu
goes all
tree,
the way.
please.
We actually work with a nonprofit organization that helps reforestation projects around the world.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Who's this?
It's called Trees, Water, People.
Really?
Yep.
George,
Pono-
all we gave was like a free membership.
And we have so much stuff to give away too, which is cool.
Yeah, we
So
have probably
And Hub Love.
$3,000
We'll give you
worth
lots
of
of-
prizes to give away during this thing too from our sponsors.
Hub
so
membership being one of
pretty
them.
awesome, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Maybe we'll put a tree in the hub for the member.
Totally.
Oh, we got a tree right here. Look at
Look at that
Look
thing.
at all the carbon that thing is offsetting.
Wow, I'm really impressed with what you guys are doing here.
Thanks.
Yeah.
We're
really,
pretty excited about it.
We
I've learned a lot right now.
Good. Good.
I actually have a friend that's also going to be teaching a NIA class there. Is it going to be?
Yeah, so there's also a wellness hour. We're gonna have we have a yoga teacher, a massage therapist, a NIA practitioner, and a Lomi Lomi therapist, your wonderful husband, who's gonna be offering kind of like self-help wellness for the day. So again, sustainability comes to your own body too, right? With what you eat and with what you do with your body. So you can't sit and work all day at the hub. We have to bring in
Actually,
some
this
action
really
into that.
speaks to our anti-burnout approach at the
Yeah,
hub.
totally.
You know, so often it's just this endless hours that you associate with entrepreneurship, and we have a wellness program and we have a wellness room that
Yeah.
practitioners can rent for $15 an hour to provide their services. So I'm glad that you guys are doing that. The only part I'd heard about was the NIA part. So, and I actually met my husband at NIA. Yeah. So I've
Lot
been
of
doing
love.
that. Yeah, a lot of love. So I'm glad all that's going to be happening. So is there anything that people need to know in order to actually sign up? I know that you've mentioned the website. Can you just give that to us again? And,
SustainabilityUnconference.com. Simple
Yeah,
as can be.
yeah.
Register on Eventbrite. It's $35 right now, which is a great deal, especially considering you get the coffee, tea, kombucha, lunch,
Baked
potential
goods.
for prizes. Yeah, it should be a really beneficial day, but also just so fun.
Is there going to be an after party, or officially or unofficially?
We actually have
yes,
a Pauhana
official.
sponsor.
Yeah.
Honolulu Beer Works is sponsoring
All right.
the Unconference as well, so we're sending everybody to Honolulu Beer Works for beers afterwards, and they've got a big venue. The networking can continue, so our speed networking will end at 4:30, maybe 5-ish, and then we'll just send everybody over to Beer Works and we can continue the conversation. So,
Fantastic.
yeah.
I'm so excited.
And it's
Thank you.
walking distance from the hub. It's
That's-
beautiful.
Stumbling distance.
Stumbling distance indeed.
We've
Yeah.
all done it.
Yeah.
We've all been there. Let's not pretend this is new.
So we really want to thank the hub for being so accommodating for the
course.
event. I think
So
it's
grateful.
been, without the hub, like I honestly don't know where we would have done this. It's hard to find a space that has all these different features that the hub has. And then we're just so thankful for our volunteers and our sponsors, and it's just been, and Scott and I have just had so much fun planning it and working on it together. So
Thank you.
We're
happy you guys are a
excited.
part
Yeah,
of it.
no, we're really, really excited. We're all going to be there. So once again, I want to thank Scott and Andrea
Yeah,
from
thank you
Important
for having
Media
us.
for being our first guest, our first member.
Yeah.
They're hosting and coordinating the Sustainability Unconference this Saturday, February 7th from 9 to 5 at the Proto Hub Honolulu. You can go to our website to find out about it too, protohubhonolulu.net. My name is Shanah, Trevenna, and this is George Yarbrough. We are the directors at the Proto Hub and also the host of this show, Hub Talks. And thank you for joining us for our very first episode. We look forward to seeing you this Saturday or at the Hub sometime, and definitely at the show next time. Mahalo.
Aloha.